So we seek to expropriate land and without compensation, because the land was never compensated when it was taken. And someone says, no, don't scare investors, but even investors are scared of the truth, they can run. The reality is this land was stolen through the wars of dispossession, and people were killed. And the only way to reverse that pain is to restore the land back into the hands of the people. The land must be available to those who are going to use it, and those who don't use it, they must lose it. All those minerals are extracted from our land, and they are put on top of a truck to Richards Bay. When you look at that, you say, no, it's chrome. It's not chrome. It's jobs in a truck transported to China to go and do job creation in China. Because that chrome, when processed here, we don't even clean it here. So when processed here, you can imagine how many jobs can be done. We are told, leave coal, go for green, go for alternative energy. We're not opposed to that. But we're not going to go for anything new without a base. Coal is our base. And when we break new ground, you can't break new ground without having a base. You consolidate your base and then you break new grounds. If green is going to give me a 1,000 megawatts, then I can go and close a coal power station of 1,000 megawatt capacity, because I've already developed alternative of 1,000 megawatt. We are made to celebrate nonsense, but people are shutting down power stations, and then from there they don't know where to get an alternative source of energy. We can't allow that. So the same coal that we must not use, we are even given money not to use it, gets into the trucks. Where does it go? Leave China because you hate it. It's going there, that's fine. But it's also going to Germany. It's also going to UK. There was a debate that UK is actually trying to revive one of its biggest coal power stations. They are getting from the same coal that we have signed that we must not use it. As a result, we don't have electricity. Mandela's problem, which he should have realized at the time, what was at the center of the oppression of our people? It was education. Apartheid was education. They said on education, separate them. What is the difference between us and Zimbabweans? Ian Smith in Zimbabwe, when he arrived, he wanted to do the same thing. But he realized he doesn't have sufficient whites to can carry that economy alone. And because he had no option, he now allowed all people of Zimbabwe, including Africans, to get same education. That's why you've got Zimbabweans being at that level, because they've never received an inferior education in their country. We're destroyed by inferior education. Why do you have deputy ministers? What role does a deputy minister play? Seated in this hall, you are the creme de la creme of our country. But if I were to randomly ask you, who is a deputy minister of agriculture? You're going to look at me like, is there something like that? Yet you are the most educated. I'm not talking to the illiterate. These people are getting so much money from you, but have got no role to play. Patronage. Why do you need minister of higher education and then another one of science and technology? What is higher education? Higher education is university and TVET, and science and technology is innovation and research. So innovation and research is the role of a university. So why do you separate this? It's one thing. You're separating it because you are trying to create as many jobs as possible for your supporters, and not just supporters, people who are in your faction. Don't use the markets to scare us. And I know what the market means. It's a synonym for white people. You say markets this, markets that. You effectively mean white people will not be comfortable about that. Who said we're in a business of making them comfortable? We are in a business of making the uncomfortable comfortable and the comfortable uncomfortable. And when you say they comfortable are not comfortable with you, I'm very happy. I'm not in the business of pleasing my oppressor. I'm in a business of pleasing the oppressed. So markets, anyway, markets don't have a problem. Markets buy diamond, blood diamond, in a country that is characterized by war. And they even sponsor that war to make that country unstable so that they can extract as much resources as possible and make more money. Don't talk about markets as if it's some moral people. They're the most immoral people. They can do anything for profit. We don't believe in a big brother mentality of the USA. We think that imperialism, wherever it raises its ugly head, must be dealt with in a manner that allows people to participate in the geopolitics as equals. So we are not the kind to bow to the superpowers. We are the ones who say to the superpowers, we are ready to work with you, but we are going to work on our terms and we'll put our country first. And not what the UK want, not what America want. It will come with a pain, but eventually, one day, we'll realize our true freedom. Good things come through a painful process. I'm not a mother. The mothers will tell you that during labor, it's very painful. But once the child is delivered, we forget all of the pain because a beautiful thing came out of this pain. The dignity of an African child can only be restored when we give them back that which belongs to them. Zimbabwe went through what they went through because they used the army to want to resolve a political and economic situation. We'll never go through that. We're going through it through the constitution, not militarily, not through a beating up of white people, not through saying white people must leave their farms and all of that. No, that strategy, we don't agree with it. We want all of this to be delivered without a drop of blood. The EFF is not an anti-white organization. It's anti-white monopoly capital organization. There are poor whites who stay in squatter camps who hate EFF because they say EFF is going to take our land. Like, which land do you have? I was brought up by 3 women in my life. My mother was epileptic. Because of epilepsy, she couldn't stay in her own house. She stayed with my grandmother. Then my grandmother took over. Then Winnie Mandela. So I don't talk about women leadership in theory. I've seen what women can do. I've seen what women can produce. So women leadership should never even be a question that get to be asked as if we're patronizing or doing women a favor. We must talk about leadership. And in leadership, we know is both male and females and others. Because these days, gender agrees beyond male, female, others. In my township, there used to be a big farm. When we were growing up, we were scared of that white man. We never played next to his farm. We went to occupy that farm. With my branch, we said, we can't say to people they must take the land, you don't take it, let's take this one. The first thing we did was to remove the fence and waited for 3 months to wait for a reaction. And then there was no reaction. And then we went in to cut sites for our brothers and sisters who were staying in the back rooms. We housed, as I speak now, 3,000 families. The owners of the land showed up and said, no, we want to talk to Mr. Malema. Some black guy comes to talk to me. Let me see them. I'm happy to see them. They said, no, this is our father's land, and he left it, he died, he left it with us and all of that. Okay, what are you doing with this land? Because you don't stay here and you have a piece of land and you don't do anything with it. I know, we're going to do middle income housing. We're just working on the plans. No, you're going to give us half of this. And then you can do middle income houses there. And you have 5 years to do middle income houses there. Otherwise, we're getting in there as well. I'm saying to you, there is too much of land that people died and left, and their children are counting it as part of their assets. They don't even know where that place is and how that place looks like. There's an EFF guy in Midvan who went to occupy half of an existing farm. And a farmer came, white man said, if you don't live here, I'm going to shoot you. He said, no, I'm not living here. This is not your land. The guy argued with our guy. We said to him, buy a fence and fence that portion. He bought a fence, fenced the portion. They are now neighbors with the white man. You know why? The white man does not have papers for that land. So I asked this guy, how did you know this guy didn't have papers? Says, the community gossips about it, that this was a government farm. And then this guy occupied it just before 1994. He has got no papers. There are a lot of them like that. And that land can be found and must be used for the benefit of our economy and our people. Thank you.
I'm a king, yes, I'm a king. I'm a king.